Alessia Tenebruso is the founder of One Girl Travel, a certified life coach, a brand and marketing consultant, and a content creator on a mission to help women live boldly, confidently, and unapologetically. Alessia, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
How would you describe what you do?
Oh my gosh. I like to consider myself like the Martha Stewart of the internet. Because I have so many interests, but my main focus is just empowering women to go after what they desire without waiting on anybody else, to have that confidence. And I do that through my social media, my podcast, my website, my coaching, all the things.
Why did you decide to start this? This is not something you look at in grade school and say, this is what I want to do.
I had this epiphany when I was traveling in Paris in 2019, where I realized that solo travel and life coaching really helped me become who I am today. And I wanted to share that power with other women. And I realized that social media was a way that I can have these conversations and meet new people and really share my story with them to be an example of what's possible.
Which did you start first? The podcast, the website?
So Instagram was where I began. Instagram was, it was very popular in 2019, and that was my go-to for it.
How do you pick your subjects? What do you decide what content to cover? And do you produce it for one specific distribution and expand? Or how do you focus on what's possible to do?
So with the content, there's a few aspects of it. I pre-plan content when I know that I'm traveling. So for example, I'm traveling to France next week, and I have put together this insane Trello board detailing everything I want to capture, every reel I want to make, every talking head. I geeked out on it very hard, and I have all the details in there because I want to make sure I am using my time wisely and I'm capturing all the things I want to capture when I'm there. So for things like that, I pre-plan, but then there's everyday content where I will talk about what's on top of mind or what I want to share. And then there's also the planned content that's like the heartbeat of my brand, just to keep it going. It doesn't have to be too intricate or too edited, but like simple content that just keeps my brand moving forward.
So what's your process? You've already talked to me about the fact that you've put a list together of every possible thing you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so pick a subject or a topic. Are you producing for specific distribution outlets? You create something for Instagram that's different than, say, YouTube? Or is it the same thing that's just in different formats? And what's your process from coming up with the idea to finishing the episode?
Yeah, so first, I like to focus solely on Instagram. That's my main platform. So I do portrait mode videos. And with that, I also use repurpose.io. And that has been a game changer for me, where it's a software that allows me to post on one platform and then it repurposes on all other platforms. So I have my content going to TikTok, to Pinterest, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn. It goes everywhere without me having to be everywhere at once. And so it makes life a lot easier for me. And then I also do YouTube vlog style content where I'll record my podcast episodes, or if I'm traveling, I'll create vlogs on YouTube as well.
One of the things that fascinates me is that you're developing videos for a vertical format, say TikTok, and a horizontal format, say YouTube. How do you capture video of something which can't be repeated for two different aspect ratios?
Yeah, so that's something I personally struggle with. And I have created some crazy looking mounts where I can mount my phone and my Osmo Pocket at the same time. And I have one horizontally, one vertically. But I find that sometimes I have to repeat myself. If I'm doing tours or something, I'll just do it a second time in both formats. But it is something I struggle with. And the thing that I also realized is if you shoot far enough away, then you can always crop for YouTube if needed. But it is something to be mindful of if you want to post on YouTube for long form content and you also want to post on Instagram or TikTok where it's short form. You do have to be mindful of what kind of format are you going to focus on, because they are very different from each other.
One of the challenges, it seems, is you get the emotion from an event by going to a close-up. but you cover yourself by going to a wide shot, which means you give up some of the emotional content. That's a tough balance.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they had a camera that shot both at one time. That would be truly ideal.
Let's talk gear for a minute. What are you using for production? What do you use for editing? Get into the tech.
Yeah, so I really love CapCut when it comes to editing videos. That's my go-to. I've been using it for years, and it's hard for me to switch over. I've tried different editing tools, but that one's just, it's so easy. I'm sure there's not as many features as other tools out there, but CapCut is my go-to. And then I use GarageBand for my podcast, and I record using that. I edit on there, nothing too crazy. And then Lightroom for my photo edits.
How about cameras and microphones?
I love gadgets so much. I have every camera you can imagine. I have the Ray-Bans with the Meta Ray-Bans with the cameras in them. I have Insta360 1X2. That's the 360-degree camera, because as a solo traveler, I want footage of myself, and I don't want to have to hire somebody to follow me around like paparazzi every time I travel. So it's such a great way to look like you have a drone or something with you, with just holding a camera yourself. I really love just experimenting with cameras. I don't personally vlog on a good camera. I just use my phone. I have an iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I think it takes great pictures, great videos, and it's easy. You know, it's in your pocket already, so you always have a camera with you.
Microphones.
Microphones. I have a Yeti. Gosh, what is this? I'm sorry. I have a JLab microphone that I podcast with, but I don't use them that often, honestly.
Really? You just record the mic on the camera?
Yeah, on my iPhone. I use that microphone, and I believe on the iPhone 16, it does have a better mic on there, but I don't carry a mic with me when I'm traveling or vlogging. I just use my phone one.
How do you keep what you do from overwhelming your life? It could easily be 24/7 and still not be enough. How do you keep a balance?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's something I work on every day, because you can get so into it where you're overwhelmed and you're trying to keep up with the latest trends and what the algorithm wants to see. And sometimes you can lose your own intuition on what feels good when you're creating. So for me, it's checking in with myself. I want to enjoy this. I still want this to be fun, even though it is work. So if I'm feeling like I'm doing too much, I'll allow myself to take a break. I'll give myself some grace and take a step back. But I do like to have a schedule. I feel like that really helps me have that work-life balance, where I know what I'm going to create on what days are video days, what days are editing days, what days writing days. So I kind of schedule all that out.
Is the pressure coming from inside yourself, or the changes in technology, or the demands of your fans?
You know, I think it's mostly myself. I think we are our own worst critics. I'm my own boss, and yet I'm very tough on myself because I want to do things the right way, and really there is no right way. You know, I've learned that. So it's really just listening to myself and not comparing myself to other creators. So there's other creators out there that have teams that are helping them, and I'm just one person. So really just listening to myself and what I need also.
How do you market your shows? How do you tell the world they're there?
Yeah, so social media is the biggest one, right? Like that's free marketing, that's community, but also I put out a newsletter. So I have a monthly newsletter and a weekly love note that I like to call it, that I send out to my community with links to my new podcast episodes, videos, whatever else.
One of the career paths for young people is becoming a social media influencer, which is very easy to say, but very difficult to be successful at. What advice would you give to someone who's thinking of becoming an influencer? What is not obvious that they need to know?
Don't overthink it. Just post. You see, especially on TikTok, it's such a great platform just to try. And don't overthink it. Just start recording videos and posting them, because you have to get comfortable. You're not going to start off as an expert. We all start out as beginners, and you just need to get comfortable with posting, talking to the camera, don't judge yourself too harshly. Like, done is better than perfect.
It's a delight talking to you. I wish you safe travels to France and enjoy yourself, and I look forward to following your career.
Thank you so much, Larry. I appreciate it.